there was no lesson to be learned. She never thought she was wrong to begin with. Oh. Energy equals my coffee squared, and welcome back to the Coffee Square podcast. Hi guys, it's your host Samia, Samaya. It don't really make that much of a difference, honestly. Mrs. Singh is back on the spotlight. Y'all obviously love her. We're obsessed with her. Clearly, that's what she's stating, and that's why everyone all over the internet is still not over her. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a comedian called Akash Singh, and his wife got some backlash a months back due to some controversial stuff she's been saying on the internet. I don't know, this is this mixed emotional thing going on right now. But it's like, at this point, you ruined your husband's career. Like, what more do you want? It's kind of weird that she's coming back and everyone's like, she didn't learn her lesson. I mean, safe to see, I thought of the same thing until I watched, the podcast that she had like a couple days ago. And I realized, oh, there was no lesson to be learned. She never thought she was wrong to begin with. Oh, just made a comeback like, I'm back.
It's been a minute. Did you miss us?
Get it?
Because we missed you.
Play.
Kind of weird watching it from like a side. It felt very weird to be like not hating, but more like being judgmental towards another female. And it's like, oh my god, make an obvious mistake, we're gonna call you out. Low key, like, I'm not gonna tolerate some hate crimes or anything like that, but I'm just saying, like, I hold your finger when I say this. Okay? Keep your private life out of the internet. Please, keep your life out of the internet. Nobody needs to know what you and your significant other or whatever is going through. Don't get me wrong, I'm like a girl's girl 100% all the way through. But sometimes it's like, nobody needs to know what you and your significant other or whatever is going through. Okay? Especially if you have already sensitive things going on in the relationship. It's just going to make things worse. For those of you who don't know what happened and what's been going on for the past couple of months, this famous comedian called Akash Singh from the Flagrant crew. I don't know why Flagrant gets hate, honestly. I'm probably going to regret that, but still. I've been a Flagrant fan since 2019, 2018, I think, something like that. Ever since Flagrant 2 came out. The older I get, though, the less I am leaning towards watching all these videos. I used to be a YouTube addict back in the days. We aren't anymore. Alhamdulillah. But I'm just saying. Anyways, the famous comedian has been receiving some backlash previously, literally towards the end of 2025. TikTok as well, but their podcast, quote unquote, the Brown Call Her Daddy. Now, as much as I'd like to say how much I really don't like the Call Her Daddy podcast, I can't be the only female that doesn't like that podcast. Is it a common theme? I'm just saying. I'm not a really big fan of it. Hopefully one day we'll make it out there, you know what I mean? I'm literally manifesting this at this moment. Come on. 100,000. And keep me in your prayers, please, because I actually need this. The world is coming to an end. Might as well everyone just make their podcast. Don't even think twice about it. Trust me. I didn't think twice about filming this video. Anyways, back to it. The Brown Call Her Daddy, and the whole concept of it was like, oh, let's be openly sharing. It wasn't even openly sharing. It was more like her saying the most crazy, outrageous things, and then the moment she gets pressurized on it, backing off. Mind you, I come from an immigrant background too, and some of the things she's saying online, I could never. There's no amount of money in the world that you can pay for me to be saying that out on record. No, not even out loud, yet alone on record. And I don't know, a lot of people are just not buying the calm, I'm quite innocent, I don't really think of it like that. Especially with some of the things she's been saying. Astaghfirullah. I need to go back before saying, I'm not even going to say them, honestly. Should I? Y'all want to know the tea? Like, should I? But no, seriously though, like calling your spouse and saying that they stink, not for real, and then stating that you would hook up or do something with your best friend, quote unquote, husband. But say she was just being sarcastic because she claims to be a very sarcastic person and uses sarcasm as like a way of entertainment. Like, she doesn't really mean everything she's saying. You don't need to go that deep in character. There is no need for you to be portraying a character that you are not in the beginning. There's so many layers to this that are just wrong. First thing, if you were actually that person that you claim to be, that's the biggest red flag, yet alone. If you were not and you were faking a personality completely, mind you, that personality is totally opposite to who she claims she is. So that's also a red flag. Because why are you lying? Why are you deceiving people and trying to be someone you're not? Guys, just be yourself because eventually you're gonna get caught. People are, especially when you're an influencer and you're married to a very known person and you try to make yourself be quite known out there and put all your personal life out there and know that your spouse is also a very public figure, of course you're gonna be checked on. I think that's the most logical thing that someone would probably think of 2 to 3, 4, 5, 6 times before they actually say something outrageous as like, what do you call it? In a frat house. I got secondhand embarrassment, bro. If there's a third-hand embarrassment, I would have got that too. First, second, and third-hand embarrassment. Cause what the actual F? Like as Charlamagne and Andrew Schultz said, keep your wife off the internet. Akash, what are you doing? I hold your finger when I say this. Please take a break. Make sure this girl doesn't show up again. I thought you would take that advice seriously, but clearly not. He hasn't. And this time, it's not even through the podcast because, quote unquote, her best friend and her grew through differences due to that, obviously, backlash that she got through the internet. And they end up stopping their podcast. And basically, their relationship slowly devolved, which got a lot of people questioning whether they were best friends to begin with or not. And yes, perfectly, she started the podcast with actually even mentioning that they weren't actually close and that apparently they're not even best friends. They just did this because her friend, that other girl that's with her co-host in the podcast, was like, oh, I want to start this podcast. Could you be in it? And that's the only reason why I wanted to do that. And I asked my husband, and my husband was like, you've always wanted to be a podcaster. And that's why I did. You're telling me you've been overly sharing and explicitly talking about unnecessary stuff in the most weirdest, cringiest ways with a person you're not even best friends with? This whole time you've just been lying about your friendship? Excuse me? What? Nah, that's crazy. And you thought you were dragged and dissed enough just when you thought it couldn't get worse. Later on throughout it, she talks about how, she expected more from her. This is her friend back when she was enduring all this backlash and stuff. And mind you, she doubled down on it. She never apologized to her husband publicly or anything like that about what she said or did and how she publicly humiliated him and ruined his career. I've been noticing for the past couple days that he isn't even on most of the flagrant videos. And you can see clearly that it's deeply affected him. But unfortunately, it seems like it only affected him more than it affected her. Because he's not showing up on the flagrant shows. Maybe he's just on tour. But I wouldn't like to go through deep allegations. In the end of the day, it's their personal life, whatever. They can figure it out.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care. Let me tell you, we don't care.
In some way, at the beginning, I actually thought of it like, so what? She's a gold digger. Is basically what everyone's claiming she is. That she just loves him for the money and whatever, and she doesn't actually like him for his personality. And it's like, and he knows that she's a gold digger, and they live happily ever after. Wow, what's so wrong about that? I genuinely was like, what's so wrong about that? You know what I mean? And truly, there wasn't actually anything wrong about it until she started opening her mouth. And it's kind of sad because it's like, you probably did it too much. Maybe in the beginning, if you just kept quiet and acted like, oh my God, people misunderstood me, whatever, that people would have actually been convinced. But the fact that she's dragging it on so long to the point that even after people are starting to forget about it, she comes back on a podcast and then starts yapping about how people on the internet are just haters and they just like to see the relationship ruin and are waiting for her downfall. And it's like, somewhat, yeah, that's true. The internet is a dark place. People are always gonna hate, no matter what it is. My battery literally went off midway of talking and yapping about her. Maybe that's karma? No, I don't believe in karma. I do though believe in the universe and that whatever you do, you deserve. So I do give her the benefit of the doubt but sometimes it's kind of hard defending. You know what I mean? It really is. And further on into the interview, she talks about how she did expect more from her and that she wasn't really there for her, considering her as a friend or whatever. She didn't speak up about whatever it is. And it's like your best friend, quote unquote, that you don't really see as a friend that you mentioned earlier, is not talking and defending you because maybe just saying you're wrong. Have you ever thought of that? Have you ever put that into consideration that you might be wrong for doing all those things, for saying all those things? No? But truly, it's kind of it's amusing in the same time it's worrying because you see the relationship slowly worsening with time. I'm not quite sure if that's just based off of the public view. They could be having a very good relationship. They could be non-affected actually by anything that's going on right now. Hopefully they're not. If this is truly a good relationship and that they are actually not toxic for one another or whatever. But I don't usually feed into internet drama in particular, but it's because every male YouTuber I know has done a freaking video about this. It's kind of ridiculous. I barely see any women talking about it. I don't know why my camera keeps on tweaking. I think it's sideways. Let's just try to finish this off real quickly. But overall, I think even if she hasn't learned her lesson, we probably learned our lesson to just keep your private life private. You don't need everyone to know everything about you. Even if that's not the case, just be yourself. You don't need to be a different character and get called out for it or lie to anyone or deceive people. Just be yourself. Truly, being yourself is the most iconic thing you could do. Regardless, if she could have been just herself and none of this could have happened, if she truly is true to what she says and how she says that she didn't really know, she didn't really want everything to be said the way it's been received or whatever. But overall, we've learned our lesson from this, guys and girls. Yeah, have some personal space, privacy, of your own. Yep. Well, that's all, guys. Thank you for tuning in. I could have said this earlier, but ignore the things in my background. Anyways, thank you for tuning into Coffee Square Podcast. I try posting whenever I can because I usually am too lazy to edit. That's the main thing. I have thousands of videos stored in my storage that just need editing.